dignitaries from the district, division, area, club, fellow Toastmasters, dear friends, Happy New Year and good evening.
Good evening.
Now before I start this session, tell me honestly, keep a hand on your heart and answer. How many of you genuinely believe that I, the finalist of WCPS and a 3 times evaluation contest winner, would give you tips to make you a winner or a champion? Okay, you all believe that. Thanks so much. Alright, how many of you are planning to participate in the contest? Okay. Evaluation speech contest, unlike the evaluations that you do in the club, is completely different, or we can say that it's a different ball game. Why? Because we do not know on what basis are we going to evaluate the test speaker's speech, because there are no objectives. Right? When you evaluate a person's speech in the club, you have the objectives right in front of you, but when it comes to contest, we don't know. First of all, we don't know who the test speaker is, so it's all confusion, okay, based on some assumptions. Okay, he might be the test speaker or she will be the test speaker. So the first thing that you have to do before any contest, be it evaluation, humorous, international, table topics, the first thing, and this is what I suggest everybody, to go through the judges ballot. The first and foremost thing that you must be doing is to go through the judges ballot, go through it and see what exactly are the judges looking for. You may be a great evaluator in the club level, you may be a great speaker in the club level, but if you do not meet the judging criteria, there are chances that you will. So go through the judges ballot. Now if you look at the judges ballot, there are 4 sections on which the judges would mark you. Number 1 is the analytical quality that carries 40 marks. Second are the recommendations that you give to the speaker, which carries another 30 marks. Third section is your technique of presenting the evaluation, which carries 15, and the final one is the summary, the way you summarize the entire evaluation, that carries another 15 marks. Now the question here is the test speaker. He has presented a speech. What basis or what objectives should I evaluate the speech? And for that, you should know the international judges ballot. Following. You do not have the objectives, right? So what will you evaluate the speech on? Just go to the international speech contest judges ballot. Have you ever seen that judges ballot? Everybody? Yeah? So you have your content, speech delivery, language. Okay? So when it comes to content, you look into the speech development, effectiveness, and value. When it comes to speech delivery, you look into the physical appearance of the speaker, okay, his energy, his enthusiasm, his confidence, and the way the speaker used the stage to convey the message, and the way he used his voice to narrate that story or convey the message or share the story with you. And finally, the language. How easy the language was. Was it easy to understand, or did he use some technical jargons to confuse the audience? Did you understand what he said? Was the message clear? So these are the things that are there in the international speech contest, and these are the things we would be looking at when we are evaluating the test speaker's speech in the contest. So the number 1 criteria is the analytical quality. And it says how well the evaluator has analyzed the entire speech and the speaker. Now I want to make something clear here. Okay, there would be people who would come and say that just evaluate the speech, not the speaker. Just evaluate the speech and not the speaker. What they meant is the test speaker might be your enemy. You may not like this person. We are not sitting there to judge or create a bias around that speaker. When I say that you have to evaluate the speaker, it's your responsibility as an evaluator to tell the speaker whether he was confident or not. How was his physical appearance? Was it as per the contest or not? If I have to give an example, let's say that I gave a speech on a marathon. So I came in a tracksuit. That was as per the content, according to the content, because the content demanded it. So you can suggest this to the speaker, and this is what I said, that analyzing the speaker. Okay, so don't say that, oh, I don't like you, or in the past you said this to me. No, not these personal things. We are not going to have a personal attack on the speaker, but when I say analyze the speaker, these are the things that we are looking into. The way he stood on the stage. Was his appearance confident? Was he nervous? Was he playing with his fingers or hands? Okay, so these are the things that we would be looking at when we are looking at the speaker. In the analytical quality, when you are analyzing the speech, you have to analyze the strengths and positives in the speech. What are the things that you felt were very strong in that speech? Was it the speech structure, the way the speaker opened the speech with a powerful introduction? Was there a story to support what he said? How was the conclusion? Was it powerful enough? Will I remember the conclusion even when the speech is over? Always remember, people will use different examples to support what they are saying. But a good speaker will always narrate personal stories. Okay? Now you may think that this person has used Albert Einstein's story or Mahatma Gandhi's story. That's okay, they can do it. But to establish his credibility as a speaker, a great speaker will always narrate a personal story. So that is what you look into, because when somebody shares personal stories, that helps them establish a connection with the audience. Alright? And second thing is effectiveness in the speech. Sometimes people bring a lot of great stories. But the question that you need to ask yourself, you are evaluating, is how effective the speech was. And how will you judge that? How will you evaluate the effectiveness part? And there is a question in the judge's ballot itself that asks you that, was the speaker able to hold your interest from the beginning till the end? Many people don't look at it. They look at the story, oh wow, great story. But the question here is, when you are listening to the speech, was the speaker able to hold your interest from the very first word he said till the end? And that is how you will judge the effectiveness of the speech. If you think that the speaker is bringing random examples and you are losing connection, the transitions are not clear on how he started and where exactly is he going to, that means the speech is losing its effectiveness. Next thing in the speech content is the message. Sometimes the message in the mind of a speaker is completely different, but when the speech is over, you get a different message. Right? So he's saying, listen to the noises, and you are getting something else. Okay? He says, don't give up on your dreams, and you got some other message because the story was completely different. So you have to ask yourself, was the message clear to me? Okay? Because that is the most important thing. That is what the speaker is sharing with you, the message. So was the message clear to me? Easy? Content-wise, so a great opening, supporting personal stories, and a powerful conclusion. Easy to understand language. If you think that the speaker has used a lot of technical jargons and there were words that you did not understand, you need to make a note of it. Was there drama in the speech? Make a note of it. Was there humor where you felt that you laughed? There was a joke and you laughed? Make a note of it. Okay? So when it comes to speech content, these are the things that we normally look into, analyze the speech. And it includes both the positive points of the speech and the areas of improvement. Next comes the speech delivery. Please see to it that the speech delivery is natural, spontaneous, and timely. The speaker should not be overdoing it, and it should not be, he is not underdoing it, because where he could have lifted his hands and made an impact, he didn't do that. He was standing just like this. Okay? And where he could have just kept his hands down and he was just using it just because somebody said that there should be body language. So you need to look into the way how he has presented it and see whether he has properly done it as per the content, or is he or she overdoing it. So it should be natural, spontaneous, timely. When I say timely, so when I say that, I went there. Now this there should happen when I say there. Okay, it should not happen that I went there and I showed after 2 seconds. So whatever gestures speakers are doing, it should be timely and as per the content. Same with voice. Some people may have great voice, loud, clear, great, but was it expressive? So when I say that today I'm so happy to be here, that happiness should be felt in my voice. Okay, when I said that, oh, Toastmasters Thailand took so much time, so that my really happy. And he says he's sad, shocked, surprised. Did his voice convey the same feeling? These are the things we look into when we look into the voice. And the most important thing here is pauses. Did he take right pauses at the right places at the right time? Or was he continuously speaking throughout the speech? Okay, so these are the things we look into when it comes to voice. And then language, I already mentioned. Simple and easy to understand language. Grammatically correct with correct pronunciation. All of you are teachers, right? You understand. Grammatically correct with correct pronunciation. So when it comes to content, analyzing a content, these are the things we look into. It doesn't matter whether you give 10 points as the strengths and positive points of the speech or 4 points. Okay, if you are somebody who can play with words and construct small sentences, you can give 5 to 6 points as his positive points, but if you are not, stick to 3 points at least. And here the trick is not just by saying, you will see a lot of evaluators coming and saying, oh, that was an excellent speech. What a great introduction. Great story. We don't want to hear all these things. You have to clearly mention, what did you feel great? When you say great introduction, why did you feel it was great? You have to literally pick that and tell it to the speaker that this is what you said, and I think that is superb. So you have to literally indicate or mention those things. So when you think that the speaker used beautiful language, okay, where? So mention those 2 sentences that you felt, okay, this was beautiful. Okay, so mention it to the speaker. Next section is recommendations, areas of improvement. So if you are like me, you will have this, itching to say at least 8 to 10 points because you are on a mission to help people. Don't do that. Okay? Because my experience, since I speak fast, I normally say 5 to 6 or 6 to 7 points in areas of recommendations. But if you are not a fast speaker, if you can't do that, stick to 4 points. Okay, so you can just divide it like 2 points in the content, 2 points in the speech delivery. Now here, it is not just okay to say that the introduction was weak. Your responsibility is to tell the speaker how he could have made that introduction stronger, which means you have to come up with a strong introduction there and tell that to the speaker. Okay, and that is why we say that don't just say it, show it to them. Okay, demonstrate. You have to demonstrate it and show it to the speaker. So when you say that you did not use the stage properly, the speaker could have used the stage properly. This is what we say, right? The speaker could have used the stage properly. No, you have to show it to him how he could have used the stage properly. Or when you say that you could have used your hands, okay, show it to him how. So recommendations means you have to demonstrate it to the speaker. Clear? Easy, isn't it? Very easy. Then third comes technique. And this is where I most of the time lose my marks when I'm competing with Abhishek, Toastmaster Abhishek. Yeah? Toastmaster Abhishek is a very soft spoken guy. I'm not. So when I give evaluation, it's not that I'm angry or I'm arrogant, but it just happens that I become aggressive. And that is where you can lose marks. Because even if you are angry with the speaker, even if you want to say a lot of things, you have to do it in a very soft tone, with a smile on your face, kind words. It's very important. Okay, because as somebody said that, you have to evaluate in a way where people come back in the club. I'm very sorry to say I'm very bad at it. Yeah. So this is technique is very, very important, and it is very clearly mentioned in the judges' ballot that you have to be sympathetic towards the speaker. So make sure, even if you don't like the speaker, please keep your tone soft and be sympathetic and be, motivating. Encourage the speaker to come back or present in a better way in the future. The last part, where most of the people, lose, is the summary. Because they think, oh, I have analyzed the speech in such a beautiful way, I have given recommendations, I was sympathetic. But by that time, when the evaluation gets over, they realize that it's already 3 minutes, 30 seconds. There is no time to summarize. And that is why I suggest that only stick to 3 to 4 points in each section, not more than that, because at the end you have to summarize the entire evaluation in the last 15 seconds. So even if you have done great evaluation and if you do not summarize, gone, 15 points gone. And somebody who just did average evaluation but with great summary, they will win. And then don't say that judges are biased. Is it right? Yeah. Very important. Summary is very, very important. So make sure that in 3 minutes 30 seconds, you literally divide your time, and within the last 15 seconds, you summarize the entire evaluation and present it. Now there are some tips that I can give you. How do I evaluate? So when I get this paper, I just write a few things: title, name of the speaker, and then type of the speech. What type of the speech that was? Was it inspirational, entertaining, humorous, informative, persuasive? There are a lot of different types of speeches. So listen to the speech carefully, and you have to write what kind of a speech did the speaker present. Remember, evaluation speech is a speech itself for 3 minutes 30 seconds. That means you need to have a captivating introduction. You need to have your structured evaluation in the body of the speech, and the conclusion is nothing but the summary that you are going to do. So it's a proper speech. Now when I say captivating introduction, there will be a lot of people who would come with random quote on communication and leadership, and then they say, oh, that was a great speech. So don't do that. We don't need quotations here. Don't think that the judges will be impressed with, how beautifully you memorize the quotation. No. Try to take something from the speech itself and connect it with your evaluation, so that the transition from the introduction to the body of the evaluation would be smooth. So don't just, somebody has given a speech on smoking, and you say, communication is the key to success. What a wonderful speech. It happens, right? Do not come with props in evaluation speech contest. No, we have experienced people coming with props. Please. You have to prepare for your evaluation, that is true, but this is not the kind of preparation that people are expecting. Okay? So please do not come with prop. Please do not use random, useless quotation that has got no relevance or relation with the speech that the speaker has presented. And this is your observation, your opinion. So the language, the kind of language we normally use is I felt or I think. So it's all about you. You should not be, there has been cases where people say, what do you think? Right? They ask the audience. It's not your duty to do that. You are there to just evaluate the speech and give your feedback, your suggestions, your opinion, what you felt as an evaluator. You can say that, I looked around and saw that people were enjoying. That is fine. But you cannot ask the audience that, what do you think about the speech? You can't do that. You should not be doing it. Okay, so avoid all these kind of things. And my personal suggestion is all these cliched stuff that people use, that now I will evaluate your speech based on 3 C's. Or your speech was just like a cake. Right? Or there were, I look at your speech as a flower. Petal number 1, content. Just be straight, get straight into the evaluation, because you're not wasting your own time by saying all these things. So just straight get into the evaluation and tuck, 4 points. Strong points, tuck, 4 recommendations, summary. Finish. Easy. Because for all these years I have seen people evaluating. I have evaluated so many speeches myself. He has been a judge. A lot of you have been judges here. So we know. When it comes to contest, stick to this judge's criteria. Present your speech, finish it off. Do not try to impress the judges with high-tech language. We are not standing there to prove our linguistic ability. We are there to help the speaker. Keep your tone soft. Demonstrate the recommendations. Analyze the speech and the speaker as well. And do not forget to summarize. That's it. And this year I am not contesting. So that was from my side. If you have any questions, you may please ask.